Welcome to Rewind and Review. Today we're diving into one of the greatest films ever made, Seven Samurai, directed by the legendary Akira Kurosawa in 1954. This movie isn't just a masterpiece, it's a game changer in the world of cinema. Seven Samurai has influenced some of the biggest directors in history, like George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, and Quentin Tarantino. Its storytelling, characters, and action sequences have inspired countless films, from westerns like The Magnificent Seven to modern-day blockbusters. Today we're taking you through the entire journey of Seven Samurai, from the desperate plight of a small village to the unforgettable final battle that defined an era. We'll break it all down while keeping the energy high and the intrigue flowing. This is a film recap you won't want to miss. Let's jump right into the action. Our story begins in the 16th century Japan, during a time of war, poverty, and unrest. The peasants of a small village are living in fear. Bandits have been terrorizing their lands, stealing their crops, and leaving them with nothing. And now word has come that the bandits will return once the barley is harvested. These peasants are desperate, outnumbered, outarmed, and utterly defenseless. That's when they come up with a bold plan: hire samurai to protect them. This sets up the incredible David versus Goliath story at the heart of Seven Samurai. The peasants are poor and can't offer much, but they have their rice, and they're hoping a few brave warriors will accept it in exchange for their lives. It's a story about survival, hope, and courage against all odds. And trust me, this slow burn setup is worth every second. The heart of the movie truly kicks off when the peasants begin their quest to recruit samurai. Enter Kambei Shimada, our first samurai, played by Takashi Shimura. News spreads that a thief has kidnapped a child and barricaded himself in a hut. The villagers, desperate and powerless, stand by helplessly, watching the situation unfold. Then, from the crowd, Kambei steps forward, a lone figure of calm authority. He is older, worn by years of battle, yet his presence is commanding. What makes this scene so gripping is how Kambei approaches the crisis. Rather than charging in with sword drawn, he devises a quiet, selfless plan. He shaves his head, disguising himself as a monk to gain the trust of the kidnapper. Kambei's transformation is symbolic. As he shaves his head, it's as if he's shedding his warrior identity, choosing compassion over combat. His humility contrasts sharply with the thief's desperation. With his new appearance, Kambei approaches the hut, carrying rice to offer as a meal. The tension is palpable. The villagers hold their breath, the music intensifies, and the danger feels real. Kambei's bravery pays off. He enters the hut, and moments later he emerges child in hand. The thief, however, meets his end at Kambei's blade. It's a swift, precise moment of action, showing that Kambei's skill in battle is still unmatched, even when violence is the last resort. Right from his introduction, you can tell Kambei is different. He's wise, experienced, and most importantly, compassionate. Kambei agrees to help the village, but he knows they can't do it alone. They'll need more samurai, so Kambei begins recruiting warriors, and the next part of the film introduces us to a diverse group of characters, each with their own skills and personalities. There's Gorobei, the strategic thinker. Heihachi, the joker who brings a light-hearted touch to the group. Kyuzo, the stoic master swordsman. One of the film's most intense moments unfolds when the calm and composed Kyuzo steps up to prove his skill in a deadly duel. Armed with nothing but his sword and precision, he faces off against a boastful opponent. In a heartbeat, Kyuzo strikes, swift, lethal, and flawless. His mastery earns the respect of Kambei, the leader of the Seven Samurai, who immediately recruits him to defend the village. Kyuzo's silent strength and unmatched skill make him a pivotal figure in this epic battle of survival, where honor and courage are tested at every turn. And Shichiroji, Kambei's old comrade. Then there's Katsushiro, the young and inexperienced samurai who idolizes Kambei, and finally Kikuchiyo, played by the legendary Toshiro Mifune, who adds some serious wildcard energy to the team. Kikuchiyo in particular is a standout character. He's brash, unpredictable, and, as we find out later, not even a real samurai. But his journey from reckless outcast to heroic warrior is one of the most compelling arcs in the film. Each of these samurai is unique, bringing their own strengths and quirks to the table. Together, this ragtag band of 7 sets off for the village, ready to train the peasants for the inevitable showdown with the bandits. Once the samurai arrive in the village, they waste no time getting to work. Kambei knows they're outnumbered, so the focus is on strategy. They fortify the village, teaching the peasants how to fight, dig trenches, and create defenses that will give them even the slightest advantage. What's remarkable here is how Kurosawa uses this section of the film to explore the bonds that form between the samurai and the villagers. While some villagers are suspicious of the warriors, others, like Rikichi, are desperate to fight back. The relationship between the samurai and the peasants is complex. There's mistrust, respect, and eventually deep loyalty. One of the most emotional moments comes when Kikuchiyo, who was born a farmer, delivers a passionate speech, railing against the upper class while defending the peasants. It's a defining moment for his character, showing that underneath his brash exterior, there's a man who deeply understands the struggles of these villagers. But the tension builds as we move closer to the battle. The bandits are coming, and every moment is spent preparing for what will be a brutal, all-or-nothing fight. In the dead of night, the samurai strike, moving with lethal precision. They launch a stealthy assault on the bandits' camp. Eliminating a few enemies in silence. But this bold act has consequences. Angered and anguished, the bandits rally, preparing for a full-scale attack on the village. The first battle erupts in chaos. Amid the clash, Heihachi, the cheerful and witty samurai, meets a tragic end, struck down while protecting his comrades. His death shakes the group, a painful reminder of the high stakes. With war on the horizon, the villagers and samurai brace for the inevitable. When the bandits finally arrive, it's chaos. The village is under siege, and the samurai lead the charge in defending it. Kurosawa's mastery of battle sequences is on full display here. The action is raw, intense, and relentlessly paced. The first few waves of the bandit attacks are repelled, thanks to the villagers' new training and the strategic mind of Kambei. Kurosawa never lets us forget the stakes. Every victory feels earned, but every loss feels devastating. As the rain begins to fall, the battle reaches its climax, and it's one of the most unforgettable scenes in cinema history. The camera work here, with its sweeping movements and close-ups, immerses you in the chaos of battle. The samurai fight valiantly, but slowly, one by one, they fall. In the final act, Kambei and the remaining samurai prepare for the last wave of bandits. By now, only 3 of the original 7 remain: Kambei, Katsushiro, and Kikuchiyo. The tension is unbearable as the final attack begins. Kikuchiyo, who has grown into a true warrior, sacrifices himself to save the village, dying in the process. His death is heroic, and it's a moment that brings the character's arc to a poignant close. With Kikuchiyo's sacrifice, the remaining bandits are defeated, and the village is saved, but the victory is bittersweet. Kambei's final words to Katsushiro linger. In the end, we lost this battle too. The victory belongs to the peasants, not to us. It's a sobering reminder of the samurai's role in this world. They fight, they die, and in the end, they're left with nothing but their honor. Seven Samurai is more than just an action film. It's a profound exploration of honor, sacrifice, and the human spirit. Akira Kurosawa's direction, combined with stunning performances from the cast, makes this film a timeless classic that is regarded as one of the greatest films ever made. If you haven't seen Seven Samurai, do yourself a favor and watch it. It's a cinematic experience unlike any other, and it remains as powerful today as it was in 1954. Thanks for tuning in to Rewind and Review. If you loved this deep dive into Seven Samurai, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss out on our next classic movie breakdown. Let us know in the comments which films you'd like us to cover next. Until then, keep watching, keep rewinding, and we'll see you next time on Rewind and Review.